When we think about the key investment thematics for MAM, they're really around the 4Ds, and they are demographics, deglobalisation, digitisation and decarbonisation. When we look at those four thematics, we just see enormous tailwinds and therefore huge opportunities where we can play a role to really match capital with unmet need.
When you think about digital infrastructure, it's important to think about the entirety of the ecosystem. So we think about things from data centres, which store data, through to fibre networks, which move data, mobile towers, which move data, all the way through to things like data registries, which actually create the data and enable the community to interact with it. And what's incredibly important to us is actually having a view across that ecosystem. Partly because it means that we know where the key players and value drivers are in that system, but partly because you understand the importance of the interaction between those components of the system.
In MAM, we're an asset creator and an alpha generator. What we're really looking at is in any thematic, particularly say a thematic like digitalisation, where is there a lack of capacity and how can we bring capital and expertise? And so importantly, a lot of our portfolio companies we've come into at an earlier stage. We partner with great management teams, with other investors, and really our focus is building up businesses where there's a huge set of tailwinds, and data centres has been a great example of that. We've had a real privilege of investing in two very significant data centre businesses. First was AirTrunk in Asia Pac, which we exited quite recently, and the second one being Aligned in the Americas.
AirTrunk for us was an incredibly exciting investment because it was the chance to take what was essentially an Australian startup company with real operating experience in Australia across the region. And so at our point in investment, AirTrunk had 5 operating centres, largely in Australia. And by the end of the investment, we had 11 sites across the Asia Pacific region. For us, that growth across the region was important, firstly, to address the community need to have reliable, safe, secure data storage, but also importantly to address that customer need to contract with platforms on a regional basis rather than a site-by-site basis.
Aligned, headquartered in Plano, Texas, is a leading developer and operator of data centers serving hyperscalers, neoclouds, and enterprises in core markets across the Americas. Under our ownership, Macquarie Asset Management supported Aligned in its expansion from 2 facilities in Texas and Phoenix with 85 megawatts of critical capacity to a scaled platform of over 5,000 megawatts or 5 gigawatts with differentiated near-term power in core markets across the Americas.
The trends that are driving data center developments in EMEA have started many years ago, driven by digitalization of enterprises and the government who want to move their workloads into the cloud. Most recently, the trends are further accelerated by AI. Vertus is a hyperscale data center platform. They started operating over 10 years ago, so they're very established in the London market, and by now they've built a leading operational data center in the UK. They have about 220 megawatts of capacity today and have a big runway for expansion. Overall footprint today is over 600 megawatts. Since we acquired Vertus, we expanded into 2 markets in the continental Europe, such as Italy and Germany, and we acquired another large campus project in the UK. We have been focused since then to develop those sites into operational data centers.
One big opportunity, particularly with the advent of AI data centers, is going to be the ability to power them and cool them in the most effective and efficient way so that communities can also operate other businesses alongside those data centers. And we see that nexus now between decarbonisation, energy, and digitalisation as probably one of the most exciting opportunity sets in the world.